Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Special thank you to our sponsors, the Gillette Home team of Keller Williams Midwillamette. For all your real estate needs, go to teamgillette.com. And for more information on Boson Hub and their digital services, go to bosonhub.com. And for information on the Oregon Fire Museum and the Father's Day run coming up on June 18th, go to OregonFireMuseum.org. Ta-da!
Hey, all right.
Hey, Scott. How's it going?
Good morning, Russ. Hey, I am, I've been 12 days on the road. Just got back. When was that? Yesterday? Whew, I tell you, it's been great. It's Idaho, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and back again. And it's good to be, it's good. I love it. I mean, it was great. I met up with a lot of good folks and just such a tremendous experience working on the road. That's one of the things that I was gearing for, was really to create a location independent business. So that was great. But it's nice to be home with my own toys and my wife.
Yes, well,
Not
that
in
is
that order.
good. I was going to say, I'd maybe reverse that order, but
That's right. Yeah.
Well, hey, we want to welcome everybody to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott, which is every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. For your listening and viewing pleasure, we're here to hopefully make you smile and make you just learn so much value from the amazing friends we have that we bring on to The Experience. We have been so blessed, haven't we, Scott?
Yeah, and I want to give a big shout out to Ever. She has been accepted to a new program, and we'll be moving to Canada, right?
At some point, that is all coming around. Yep. And very exciting for her. I'm so proud of her, and what a blessing. I knew it would happen all along.
Been working hard for that. So
that's
exciting. Today we have got two great guests, and I'll just say mind and body, brain and our physical. We're going to have some great discussions today with Lisa Marree and Tony Castillo.
That's right. I am so excited. And today, we just pray for all of you that you're having a blessed start to your day. If you're in the morning like us, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, no matter what time it is, because for Lisa Marree, it is not the morning. So she is just on the verge of turning into a pumpkin. So we just say thank you for coming. And but speaking of Lisa Marree, I think we should just get things started.
Let's get going. Let's get to the good part.
All right. Welcome, Lisa.
Hey.
Good morning for us. I am officially a pumpkin. We are in Tomorrowland here. So it is, is it Thursday? What is it for you? Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. And I was just rocking away to those tunes for a few minutes there. I love that.
I love it. And it is, I will say that is a Grammy nominated composer who has written the music for the experience, and Russ's other shows for Russ Reels
This happens
and
on which
Marketing with Russ.
yeah.
Great. I was just
You're-
diving along, and
Yeah.
I didn't know if anybody could see me because I could see my little bubble off to the side, but I was just rocking in the background.
I
Me
can
and
see
Dino.
it. Yeah, I can see it, Lisa. That is
Oh,
so great.
okay.
Well, listen, we're so excited to have you here, and I know about the amazing things you're doing. Give everybody a little spotlight. Who is Lisa Marree, and what are you up to?
Oh gosh.
Oh,
I've
I
Whoa,
should
we
probably
gotta get
not
the
do that. Yeah,
we gotta
let's
get
try
the
that
right button
again.
there.
Take two. Who
So
is
you gotta
Lisa
be
Marree? and
quick.
what-
When you get that moment,
There it goes. Oh, sorry about the little reflective lights on my eyeballs there.
we're good.
Lisa Marree is she's lived a lot of lives, and now I guess really following my bliss. That is that light's really going to annoy me. There we go. I'm going to just put it there. I've spent the last 20 years in nutrition, wellness, really focusing on helping people have a holistic approach to their health and bringing a lot of mindset into that. But what I found was that there was a fundamental error when people were looking for a health journey, that if there was a road bump in their life, they would actually sort of go back to their old patterns and their old ways, no matter how far they'd actually progressed down the line. I grew up in a very violent, traumatic family home, and so my own state was living in fear. And but I'd always had this little inner voice that said that where I was living was not normal, and that just to keep going, keep striving. It was just like the little red engine. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. And I was always guided by that inner voice, which got me into some pretty incredible situations, because all of the things that have happened to me in life have actually been the stepping stones of who I have become now. And I've had so many incredible mentors, and I've been very heavily involved in personal development for over 20 years. Mr. Jim Rohn, who has now passed, bless him, was actually, we were personally mentored by him.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that is a big wow. And,
Yeah.
people know Tony Robbins. Well, Jim was Tony's mentor. So, it's, through me unlayering all of the tragedy and the trauma, and I've had 18 surgeries, and I've been facing bankruptcy. I've had a lot of abuse, like so much stuff, but all of it has been lessons, and I've been able to learn and grow from that. And so what I've done is I've embraced that and really turned my wellness business into helping people rewire the most important thing, which is what's going on up here, and help people unravel all of their garbage to be able to become so strong of mind, to be, courageous and resilient, and be able to overcome any obstacle, but also do it with an open, loving heart, which was something that I didn't do for the first 40 years of my life, because I'm in my 50s now. And, each layer that I've taken off has been able to help me get that little bit closer to what I want to do. Is my mission is to help change the world, to wake them up, to help everybody live within the greatness that they have in themselves. So, being blessed to come on a platform like this, to be able to share just that we all have the ability to plant seeds of hope in people as well, especially during this time.
I love that. Setting goals that make a difference, changing the world.
Yes, when you're suffering, it's all about you. And it's so hard to look outside of yourself and be of service to others. But when you cross that threshold, and your whole purpose is to serve others and empower them, life is pretty amazing. Like the gifts that get presented towards you, the people, the opportunities, the circumstances, it's all helping that pathway open up so you can be that world changer that you want, and to have a legacy, to leave your footprint on the earth, and have it make some good. Jim Rohn always used to say, leave the place better than what you found it. And I think that's so
amazing.
important.
That is amazing, and I love Jim Rohn because, a lot about life too is, I love his quote that we are the average of the 5 people closest to us. And I love that. And it's so true. Who we surround ourselves with makes such a difference. And speaking of surrounding ourselves, we want to bring in our next guest to join the party, Mr. Tony Castillo.
Woo! Good morning. Well, good night. Lisa, I'm sure you've heard this before.
No, it's good morning.
Yeah.
Bring in the heat.
I want to know what the lotto numbers are. If you're already at Thursday, you got to send them my way so we can, fund our lifestyle. We don't have them yet.
Well, Tony, I love the energy, and you are such an awesome guy. I want you to give everybody a little snapshot. Who is Tony, and what are you up to?
Yeah, so my name is Tony Castillo. I'm a nutrition expert. I've gone through my life trying to figure out how nutrition plays a role in my own life. So I'm going to take a moment here to explain that journey. So Mardi Gras beads. If you haven't heard of Mardi Gras, it is a festival that happens in New Orleans every year during Fat Tuesday. And I want you to imagine those beads we see being thrown out to everyone, right? We've seen them on videos. Well, when I was 13 years old, I went to go see a urologist with my mother because I had an issue. I was overweight and I had man boobs, just to be open and honest with you here. And this urologist was a female. Now, I was 13 years old. I'm in a doctor's office with my mom and another female urologist. And the urologist says, take your pants off. And I was like, excuse me? She was actually seeing if there was something different about my testicle size. I'm going to be open with everyone here. I'm going to keep the story engaging as well. So she compared it to what looks like Mardi Gras. And I was like, I was so in shock, right? It wasn't actual Mardi Gras beads, but it looked like it at that moment. I'm like, what's going on here? Put my pants back up. The doctor said, everything's normal there. Your blood work looked normal. We're just kind of making sure everything seems fine. Looks like you're just overweight, Tony. And you have 2 options. You can either do a plastic surgery or you can do a testosterone replacement therapy. Luckily, at 13 years old, I decided not to take either of those options. And my mom did not support either of those options either. So I went all throughout high school. I weighed about 250 pounds. I was an offensive lineman on my football team. And someone gave me a bodybuilding meal plan, a bodybuilding weight loss plan, and I did it. But then college came, and to be honest, I threw that plan out the window. I thought beer, pizza, and tacos were way better than counting any of the food I had. And eventually in college, I tried every fad diet at the time. It was Atkins. It was the South Beach diet. I tried every supplement that was under the sun. I remember it was Hydroxycut. My girlfriend, who's now my wife, she had a ballerina skinny tea that only worked in females. I was taking it behind her back because I was like, why is this only working for women? What's the secret here? It was just a laxative, just to kind of put a tail end on that story. Very quick way to end that.
Tail end, I love it. Yeah. Okay.
So eventually I broke my foot dancing. And that first thought that came in my head was, how am I going to work out? And I knew something was wrong with my relationship with food and workout routines. So I got my degree in biology and chemistry, took that year off, and I took my first class in nutrition because I know I wanted to help people. Well, from there, I got my master's in nutrition, absolutely loved it. I knew this is exactly where I wanted to be at, the passion I wanted to share with people, being that former fat kid and how I can give it to others. Well, working with athletes, I want to know how they perform so well when they eat foods such as, let's say, dairy or weedy cereals where we see them on and promoting when we're told to stay away from them. Well, I want to know, was it a supplement? Was it some sort of steroid they were doing behind my back? What was it? Well, they had a great relationship with food and they saw how food could help their performance. And I saw that and it almost opened my eyes, right? Like opening the curtain. Well, from there, I went to go work at the University of Florida and I went to go work with the Toronto Blue Jays baseball team. And I saw how elite performers ate and how they use food as a fuel. And that's something I love teaching to executives, small business owners, and even athletes still. But it was really just getting out of my own way as a former fat kid and saying, you don't need to eat these foods in hiding. You don't need to use it as an emotional crutch. You also don't need to just eat. Are you eating to fuel the performance you're doing? And that's what I teach today with practical, sustainable tips. So that is my story, and you will never forget Mardi Gras beads ever again.
No. What a way to open.
Yeah.
Damn. Can I hit the reset button and
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about body parts right here.
You definitely know how to wake everybody up, Tony.
That's right. That's what we're here for.
Lisa Marree may need some waking up since it's so early in the morning for her.
No, I was actually going to say I've seen a lot of testicles in my time, but I'm actually a medical professional as well, so it's valid.
Well, I think, one thing we're talking about too, what you brought up, Tony, is choices. You and your mom made the right choices, moved the right direction for you instead of, doing just what everybody else says. And I think so many people, I always say that where people are always shooting all over us, they're telling us what we should do and, what we should say and what we should be and all that kind of stuff. And, it's good to get wisdom from people. Definitely get wisdom from people that know what they're talking about. But people are just a lot of times yapping and just trying to tell us what we should do. And, what do you think about that, Lisa? The fact is, no matter what you're doing, you've got to make your path, right?
Yeah, for sure. I've seen and heard a lot of ways to get things done. And life is not a cookie cutter. And when you, because I'm a very good student, I needed to learn, I needed to grow, I needed to change. I'm very, very teachable. I'm a student every single day, and I will be until. But what I find is that because the world is so open to instant information, we can certainly be misguided by all of the crap on the internet. I'm just going to put it out there. Especially about nutrition and weight management, because that's been my field as well for 20 years. And nutrition, Tony, is literally energy and information for our cells. And so when you're putting in Cheetos, it's there's no cell in your body that actually wants that.
I love that, Lisa Marree. It's so I was talking.
Can I just interrupt one moment?
Yeah,
my
please.
First name is Lisa. My last name is Marree. Just to get that clear, it's not a hyphenated name.
I gotcha.
So I'm like Symbol or Prince, Madonna. Just call me Lisa. Thanks.
I don't want to confuse you with the other Lisas on the screen. So Lisa, so one of the things, and Tony, you can appreciate this as well, is I was talking to the football coach, the assistant head football coach for the Oregon State Beavers. And, this is a top level program, Division I football. So the athletes that come, they're all everything at their high school, at their state. I mean, these are the top students, but basically they got there because of natural ability. They were just born with the right set of genes and made it through high school and got all the accolades. And now they're here at Division I football. And so we were talking about what is it that makes these students become really great athletes and move on, some of them into professional level sports. And, is it the weight room? Is it the strength coaches? Is it, what is it that, and he said the number one thing that they do for those students is diet. It's
Fuel.
the nutrition. And he said, one of the simplest way they look at it is they said, if you can tell that it came out of the ground or off an animal, you can eat as much as you want. So steak, good. Hamburgers, no. Doesn't look like it came out of the animal. Apples, great. Apple pie, not so much, right? And I just think this is a great thing. And basically it's just saying, stay away from the processed stuff like Cheetos.
Happy Meals are killing our children. They're full of inflammatory chemicals, and like the marketing world should be banned.
Tony, talk a little bit
we're
about that
killing
too.
our children.
Yeah, I'm going to step in here and be counter health culture right now. I agree with you, Lisa. However, if you grew up on McDonald's and I try to take it away from you, you're only going to crave it more and want it more. So I don't want your culture to be an obstacle. And that's what I keep seeing health culture being promoted now. And I don't want that to happen, because when I was that former fat kid, I was told I couldn't have Cheetos. I was told I couldn't have the food my grandma make because it was going to make me fat and make me unhappy. So the things I work on with a lot of these elite professionals is, yes, you want to have that 95% diet tooled in, but that 5%, leave for the foods you love. But what happens is, and I see it so many times, is we do the reverse, where we do 5%, where we eat that one salad a week and think it's going to change us. And then the 95%, we do everything else besides that. And as Scott had just mentioned, it is absolutely true. Eating as much as we can from whole foods. However, if I work with a CEO, right, and his one thing is having pizza or pasta, and it's been taken away from him, he's never going to find that plan, because now we're going back to that cookie cutter, right? I'm not here going to be promoting Cheetos to everyone, even though I love Cheetos. But if we find a way to include it where it's not an everyday thing, but they can have it, it allows them to have that feeling of, I have some sort of control, and this isn't just something it's cookie cutter that everyone's giving out, right? But I'm totally with you. I'm not saying they should have McDonald's at every meal. But when you're working with these elite athletes, sometimes that's the only thing available at that time. So how can you prepare them in those moments to make the best choice for them? And when can they include those foods, right? Because when I was working in baseball, there was 162 games. And if you ate the same food for 162 days, you'd probably throw that food at me. So how do we get those fun foods in, right?
All right.
When do
Professional
they
level food fight. I love it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So that's where I feel like it's that counter health culture, because I'm with you. I don't think it should be included in every meal, but when can we include it? And I think that needs to be part of the conversation.
I don't disagree with treats at all, but as we live in a world of excesses, so when it's a daily consumption, it's and it's the parents' responsibility. I'm talking about kids, you're talking about athletes here. So, but having said that, I remember there was an interview with Cristiano Ronaldo, and there was a bottle of Coke on his counter, and he pushed it aside and said aqua. And I just thought that was just one of the most brilliant moments in television, because as an elite athlete, he's not prepared to pour black acid down his gullet. So, it was brilliant. We're getting a little bit controversial here.
I love that.
I'm going to say there's a phrase that is, I guarantee you'll probably hear this today, and people talking about brain fog. Oh, I'm just, it's just a little bit of a brain fog. And I'd like to start with Lisa and then go over to Tony and talk about, how do you combat brain fog from your perspective?
There are so many factors involved in this, Scott, honestly. I approach everything from a 360 approach. We've got our core pillars of health that we have to look at having in our life, of good sleep, rest, movement, nutrition, healthy information coming into our brain. But then we've got all of the environmental influences, the pollution, the toxins in our water, in our food, in our environment. Then we've got all of the other exposures, all of the blue lights and this and that and the other. Then we've got all of the data coming in. A lot of that is toxic, because people are, that dopamine hit where people are getting basically dopamine burnout. And our brain is not having time to rest. We need energy to sleep. And that's really important to get into the deep sleep cycle. And so when you've got a crap diet, a crap feeling in your body, I'm going to use the word crap a lot, so I hope that's okay.
I'm with you.
Because that's how people feel most of the time.
Yeah.
And our brain actually does a washing cycle at night if we get into that deep sleep, to clean out the gunk from the day.
Yeah, I call it brain poop, because it's the
it does. Your brain needs to poop. It really does.
Yeah, as you get those neurotransmitters and they fire off, there's residue that's left behind.
Yeah, it's all this amyloid stuff. Yep.
When you
Yep.
sleep, that
You
brain
got it.
poop gets flushed
I'm
out.
so excited. You know that. So basically, people's brains are just so congested with modern life that it can't function properly. And that's the only thing I have to say about that. It just can't function properly. It's
Mhm.
just all the wrong signals, all the wrong food, all the wrong everything. And that is around 8 out of 10 people.
Yeah. So I love it that it's not just the food we're putting in, it's the information, it's the environment. Tony?
So when it comes to brain fog, I completely agree with that, Lisa. And the way we want to address it really depends on the person. As you stated, like all those factors, what do we need to look at? Do we need to eliminate the social media or the media you're consuming? Is it talking about food? Is it talking about sleep? Is it talking about stress management? Is it talking about the type of movement you're doing, right? And many of the times what I've seen is that they typically focus a lot on movement and not so much on diet, because they go to all these fads or something they heard on a podcast that may not work for them. They heard the next best thing that worked for Mr. X or Miss X, and it didn't work for them. So they go back to what they're already doing, or they keep trying it, right? They're trying to chip away at this block without working on their own block. They're chipping away at someone else's block, and they don't fuel for what they're doing. So that brain fog they're getting, it's because they're trying the wrong things over and over again. Going back to that cookie cutter approach, what are things that they need to do to fuel their bodies for what they're doing, right? Are they eating what I like to call premium carbs, which is going to be that premium fuel for their body, right? You were talking about it at Oregon State. What kind of car are they driving? Are they the Lamborghini or are they the Corolla? And there's nothing wrong with either of those cars. They can both get you from point A to point B. But if you put that premium gas in the Lamborghini, it's going to run great. If you put that regular fuel, it's not going to run too far. And if you get in a Corolla, you put that premium gas in, it's going to run better. It's going to get more miles per gallon. So it's going to get rid of that brain fog because we're going to have that more steady state energy. So increasing our fiber intake, making sure we have enough water. As you know, Scott, I'm a big proponent of hydrate or dihydrate. So we always got to make sure we get that hydration, because we can't flush any of those toxins out if we don't have anything to push it through our body, right? So we got to make sure we're drinking at least half our body weight in ounces. That's one thing I like to work on with many of my clients. And that doesn't even include if they do any sort of physical activity, then how much fiber are they actually consuming? Because we know there's a big gut-brain axis that is really helping get those right neuromodulators, neurotransmitters out, right? So are we feeding our gut, our minds, and our bodies with the things we need to move forward?
Well, this has just been a fabulous discussion. And as we wind down, Lisa, we're going to come to you to get your last thoughts and how people can do business with you, because we all need this. And I love to talk about sleep because we know, and I hope everyone knows this, that lack of sleep has the same effect as being intoxicated.
Yeah.
And people will not go to sleep, not get the rest they need, and then they're going to show up to work. But they wouldn't show up drunk, but they'll show up with the same state. So let's get your last words and how people can do business with you. Lisa.
My last words. Well, I actually just want to thank you for inviting me on, and I've been loving this whole conversation with you guys. So thank you. And I just want all I was hoping to do, if anything, is just plant a seed for people to just look at their habits and, you know, where they can actually maybe make a change today or tomorrow, that they can, you know, just do one thing, just make one change. That's a great place to start. And where people can find me is at on LinkedIn, of course, which is my name, Lisa Marree. That's my first name and my last name. But it's also my website. So it's lisamarree.com. There is a double R and a double E in Marree. So thank you so much.
Wonderful. Tony.
All right. Well, thank you both for having me on. It's been a pleasure. Lisa, it was great to meet you and have conversation with you as well. I love your mindset around everything. And if people want to find more information on me, you can go to LinkedIn at the Tony Castillo, and you can go to my website, nutritionfp.com/the experience, where I have 3 things for you. 1, there's going to be a 10-question wellness check-in so you can see how your wellness is. 2, if you want, I have a free habit tracker that I give to my clients that helps them build a habit in 30 days. And the 3rd one, if you feel like this was a great conversation, you want to schedule a call with me, you can go ahead and do that at that website. So it is nutritionfp.com/the-experience. And finally, just want to remind everyone, I've been there. I had the Mardi Gras beads in front of me talking about testicles earlier today, the former fat kid, trying to understand how to fuel our bodies. And it's not as easy as we think. And most of the information out there we hear is quackery. So make sure you get the right information from the right people to fuel your body. And thank you guys for having me on.
All right. Well, Lisa, Tony, I know this has just been this is just like not even the tip of the iceberg. I'll just say it's a few of the snowflakes that have been blown around on the top of the iceberg. There's a ton of information. I want people to get a hold of you. And, our mind, our body, we get one, there are no returns or refunds. So take care of what you got.
Yes.
It's fabulous. Russ is going to push you guys into the green room, hang out for a moment. We'll wrap it up and be right back with you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both.
Wow.
It's amazing. We are so blessed with amazing people. I just am still trying to get over that Lisa was personally mentored by Jim Rohn.
Yeah, and this is one of the things is that you can read the books, but I'd encourage people spend some time, get in one of Lisa's programs, and then you're going to have a direct connect to Jim Rohn, and that's the way the world works. And with Tony, look at that enthusiasm.
Thank you both for being enthusiastic there. That's amazing. But Tony is a fireball, yeah.
on the experience, we talk about life and interesting stuff, and Tony brought some interesting stuff today.
For sure. And you know what? We just want to thank y'all for being here today. We are here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. This does get converted to audio podcast as well, so you can drive along listening on your favorite audio podcast as well. And we have amazing guests, so please join our YouTube community. We would really love it if you would. The best way to do that is go to the experience.video. The experience.video, that gives you all the past content and notices to upcoming content. Please, please, please open a tab and just subscribe to our YouTube page and become part of our community there. Appreciate that. And I think, Scott, that's just about it.
Hey, with that, wrap us up, and we will see everybody next week.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.